just gave it over to him for him to do what he will.
Absolutely. Because if you say, God, I'm going to try you, you're not going to get there. But if you just go before him, he says, you know me.
You know
he
me.
knows me. You know the number of hairs on my head. You know what I'm going to do today before I know, because you know my end from the beginning. So since you know it, you're the only one that's going to walk me in it.
Yeah, yeah. So was there a time during this journey, because I know when we start off, you know, we're sometimes on and off, you know, sometimes we pray things that don't happen, and we get a little discouraged by, what was there an event? I know when you were in the car and you felt the presence of the Lord. Was there something else that happened in your life where you said, this is the ticket, I know I'm going in the right direction?
That I had that countless times when my husband first got sick. Countless times with that, when I watched him move. When I watched us go to the doctor, I'll just tell you one, because there's so many.
Yes.
But I went to the doctor's office, and she said, and I don't know if I shared this with you before. If I did, I'll share another one. But I went to the doctor's office. We went to the doctor's office, and she said his calcium was so high, he's got to go to the hospital right away. And they didn't have a bed available. Of course, he was making excuses because he didn't want to go.
Right.
But she said, the first available bed, I'm going to get you there. And they got one and took him, and I had to go to work that evening. And so I came home. I left him at the hospital. They were going to flush him so that they can get some of that out, because it's very dangerous. It can affect your heart, everything. So I left him there, and I came home, and I thought, I don't have a lot of time, but I know what, I'm just going to pray, and I'm going to seek the Lord. And I'm sharing this one with you because there's a difference with just praying, which is you're telling God your problem. And there's a difference with communicating with God and listening to him, and then asking and seeking him. And then there's a difference of resting.
Praise the Lord.
And I came home, pulled the car in the garage, and I walked into the kitchen. And I thought I was going to go and pray. Tell God what's going on, as if he didn't know already.
Yes, right.
Because he knows everything. But I was going to tell him
what was happening.
and I was going to go tell God what's happening. I was going to ask him to intercede, and I was going to tell him how to fix it.
Okay.
Give
God steps.
Yes,
we do.
Yes, we do. We give God steps. As if, and that's the reverse. God, we're supposed to. Our steps are supposed to be ordered of the Lord. That means we're supposed to listen to the Lord for the steps that he's giving us to follow. But I walked in, and that's when it transitioned to listening to the Lord. I walked into that kitchen, and it was the end of the kitchen counter, and I put my head down on there, and I began to worship. I just began to worship him and tell him who he is to me, how thankful, how grateful I am.
Bless the name of the Lord.
For the loving Abba, the loving Daddy God, the awesome Father that I can't live without. Beautiful Savior, wonderful Counselor, my great I am. More to me than anything in the world. And I began to worship him and just sing. Now, I can't sing, but my voice is awesome in his sight, and so is yours. And just begin to worship him, and a peace washed over me. Just filled me, Pastor Brenda. This peace of God just washed. And then I got up from there, washed my wet, snotty face, got dressed, and left, and had a peace. And when I was done, and I called my son on the way home. I called him before. I said, you go to the hospital. I called him on the way home. How's your dad? He says, oh, he's up there eating and ordering tomorrow's menu. I said, what happened? So I got to the hospital. I said, what happened? And the nurse said, what did he come in here for? So I'm telling her, and she said, well, we didn't have the doctor's order, so we ran tests, but we can't find anything wrong. The end of the story is everything went back to normalcy. All the ranges went back to normal, and he was just discharged.
Just by you following what the Spirit of the Lord
told
you to do, to worship him.
He knows
in the
everything.
Spirit of holiness.
Yes, he knows everything. He